Hello, YouTubers! Welcome back to the Hobbit book reading series. We're looking at Chapter 10. Anyway, Chapter 10, A Warm Welcome. The light... The day grew lighter and warmer as they floated along. After a while, the river rounded a steep shoulder of land and came down upon their left. Under its rocky feet, like an inland cliff, the deepest stream afloat, lapping and bubbling. Finally, the cliff fell away. The choice sank. The trees ended, and Bibble saw the sight. The lands opened wide about him, filled with the waters of the river was broke up and wandered in 100 winding courses. The halted in marshes and pools dotted with isles on every side, but still strong water flowed steadily throughout the mist. And far away, a stuck head in a torn cloud, they loomed the mountain, its nearest neighbors to the northeast, and doubled that joined it to them could not be seen. All alone arose and went across the marshes to the forest, a lonely mountain. Bibble had come far and through many adventures to see it, and now he did not like the look of it in the least. As he listened to the talk of the ratsmen and pieced together the scraps of information they let fall, he soon realized he was very fortunate ever to have seen it all, even from this distance. Really, there had been an imprisonment and unpleasant position, saying nothing the poor Dorses underneath him. Still, he had been more lucky than he had guessed. The talk was all about the trade that came and went on the waterways, the growth of the traffic on the river. As the roads out of the east towards Smokewood vanished or fell into disuse, and not the bickerings of the lakemen and the wood cells about the upkeep of the Forest River and care of the banks. Those lands had changed much since the days when Dorses dwelled in the mountain. Days which most people now remembered only as a racial tradition. They have changed even in recent years. And since the last news that Gandalf had of them. Great floods and rains, swollen waters that flowed east, and there had been an earthquake or two, which some were inclined to attribute to the dragon, and laid him chiefly with a curse, and almost not in the direction of the man, marshes and bogs, and spread wider and wider on either side. Half they vanished, and many a wagon wondered too. They tried to find us way across. The elf row through the wood which the doses have followed on the face of big one. And that came to it. That fell little use then on the east edge of the forest. Only the river offered any longer safely from the skirts of Mickwood to the north to the mountain shadow plains beyond. And the river was guarded by what else king. So you see, Bibble had come in the end. I don't even know that was any good. It might have been some comfort to Mr. Baggins, sitting on the barrels, if he had known the news of this, and at least counting off far away and giving him great anxiety, or that, and that he was in fact finishing his other business, which does not come into this tale. And get ready to come in the church of Foreign's company. But Bibble did not know it. All he knew was that the river seemed to go on and on forever, and he was hungry, and a nasty cold in the nose. And did not like the way the mountain seemed to frown at him, frown him as it drew ever nearer. Not too well, however, the river took a more southerly course. The mountain receded again, and at last, late in the day, the shores grew rocky. The river gathered all those wandering waters together in a deep, rapid flood, and they sped along at great speed. The sun had set when turning with another sweep towards the east. The Forest River rushed into the long lake. It had a wide mouth with its cliff-like gates on either side. His feet were filled with singles. The long lake. Bibble had never imagined that any water that was not the sea could look so big. It was so wide that the opposite shores, low and far, while it was so long that there was no land, was waiting towards the man, could not be seen at all. Only from the map did Bibble know that way up there, where the stars and wane, while they tinkling, the Rain River came down into the lake from Dale, and with the Forest River filled with deep waters, what must once have been great deep rocky valley. At the southern end, the doubled waters poured out again over high waterfalls, finally hurriedly to unknown heights. In the still evening air, the noise of the falls could be heard like a distant roar. Not far from the mouth of the Forest River was a strange town he heard the elves speak of, the king's settlers. It was not built on the shore, although there were few huts and buildings there, but right out on the surface of the lake, protected from the swirl of entering river like a ponoi of rock which formed the calm bay. A great bridge made of wood ran out to where unused piles made of forest trees was built a busy wooden town, not a town of elves, but of men, who stood there to dwell here under the shadow of distant dragon men. They still drove one train that came up the river from the south, was carted past the falls too. The town. But in the great days of old, when Dale in the north was rich and prosperous, they had been wealthy and powerful, and there had been fleets of boats on the waters, and some were filled with gold, and some with warriors and armor. And then there wars and deeds, which were now only a legend. The rotting piles of a grave town could still be seen along the shores when the waters taken a drought. But men remembered little of all that, though some still sang old songs of the rough gains of the men, for and riding the race of Durin, and the coming of the dragon, and the fall of the lords of Dale. Some sang too that flood and rain would come back one day, and gold would flow on rivers through mountain gates, and all that land would be filled with new song and new laughter. But this pleasant legend did not much affect the daily business. As soon as the left barrels came in sight, bulls rode out from the piles of the town, and voices hailed rough steers. The ropes were cast, and oars were pulled. Soon the raft strung out of the current, the Forest River, and towed away on the height shoulder rock to the little bay of Lake Town. There was mourned, not far from the shore where ahead the great bridge. Soon men would come up from the south, make some of the casts away, and others they would fill with goods they bought to be taken back up the stream to the wood elf's home. In the meanwhile, the barrels were left to float on the elves of the raft. The boatman went to feast in Lake Town. They would have been surprised, and they could have seen what happened down by the shore after they had gone in the shades of night and fallen. First of all, Beryl was cut loose by Bibble and pushed to the shore and opened. Moans came from inside, and knocked out a most unhappy dwarf. A straw was in his mangled beard. He was so sore and stiff, subdued and buffeted. He could hardly stand or stumble through the shallow water to lie groaning on the shore. He had a famished and savage look like a dog, had been chained and got in the kennel for a week. It was 14. But could have, could, but you could only have told it by its golden chain, and by the color of its now dirty and tattered sky blue hood, with its tarnished silver tassel. It was some time before he would be even polite to the hobbit. "Still, are you alive or dead?" asked Bilbo quite crossly. Perhaps he forgotten that he had at least one good meal more than doses, and also the use of his arms and legs, not to speak of the great amounts of air. "Are you still prison? Are you free? If you want food, if you want to go on with this silly venture, the joys have their own, not mine. You had better slap your arms and up your legs and try to help me get the others out of the still chance." What in? Of course, saw the sense of this. So after a few more groans, he got up and helped the hobbit as well as he could. In darkness, floundering in cold water, he had difficult and very next time of finding which were the right barrels. Looking outside, calling only discovered that 6 doses that could answer. They dropped hat and up the shore. They sat or lay murmuring, groaning, moaning. They were so soaked and bruised and cramped. They could yet realize their release would be partly thanked for it. "Oh, my darling," but two of the most unhappy. There was no good asking them to help. This wasn't bold enough for us not to bed and dryer. When they lay down, would do nothing. Feeding Kitty, however, surely on for doses. And had also been packed more neatly with plenty of straw. And the smaller cats came out more or less smiling, only a bruise or two on the stiffness that soon wore off. "I haven't never smell apples again," said Phoebe. "My tublet's full of it. The smell of apples is everlasting when you scarcely move. It won't take 100, it's maddening. I could eat anything in the whole wide world now. How's that? But not to nipple." With the will and have a feeling and Keely, Ryan and Bibble last discovered, the main of the company and got them out. Poor fat Bulmer was asleep but senseless. Noi, and Gollin were waterclogged and seemed only half alive. They all had to be carried one by one and laid helpless on the shore. Yeah, here we are, said Florian. And suppose we ought to think our stars. Mr. Baggins. I'm sure he has the right to expect it. Though I wish he could have arranged a more comfortable journey. Still, though very much at your service once more, Mr. Baggins. No doubt we shall feel properly grateful when we are fairly recovered. Meanwhile, what's next? What next? I should just lay down, said Bibble. What else is there? Nothing else could, of course, be suggested. Well, leaving the others, Morton, Beanie and Kitty, and the Hobbit, and on the shores of the great bridge. The guards at the head of it, but they were not keeping very careful watch, for it was so long since there had been any real need. There were occasional squabbles on roof trolls they were fenced with themselves. Other folk were far away, and some of the younger people in the town completely doubted the existence of any dragon in the mountain. And that's at the gravy of the game it is, was that they had seen it flying in the sky in the end days. That being, it's not surprising that the guards were drinking and laughing like fire in the hut. And did not hear the noise of them hacking at the doors on the footsteps of the four scouts. Astonishment, Sir Nolan went in, looking shield, and then through the door. Who are you? What do you want? They shouted, leaping to the beam, clapping for weapons. Foot in, son of foot, keen under the man, said the dwarf in a loud voice. And he left it, in spite of his torn clothes and draggled hood. The gold gleam on his neck and waist. His eyes were dark and deep. I've come back, and this to see the master of your town. Then there was tremendous excitement. Some of the more foolish ran out of the hut, and they expected the man to turn golden in the night, and the ones of the light to turn yellow right away. Captain at the guard came forward. And who are these? He asked, pointing to Philly and Keely and Bibble. The sons of my father's daughter, answered Fortin. Philly and Keely and the mate are daring, and Mr. Baggins was traveled out of the west. If you come in place, lay down your arms, said the captain. We have none, said Fortin. It was true enough. The knights had been taken from them by the woods elves. And they thought luckish too. Bibble had a short sword hidden as usual, and he said nothing about that. We have no need for weapons. Oh, returned at last to her own spoken of Lord, nor can we fight against so many. Take us to your master. He is please, said the captain. Then no double reason for taking this to him. Bristling Feely was getting impatient with some tease. Yeah, we won't vanish at a long road. And we have sick comrades. Now make haste and let us have no words, or your master might have something to say to you. Follow me then, said the captain. I was 6 minutes about them. He led them over the bridge. To the edge and into the marketplace of the town. This was a wide circle of white water surrounded in tall piles. On which were built the greater houses, and by long wooden caves with many steps and ladders going down to the surface of the lake. In one great hall shone many lights, and there came a sound of many voices. They passed the stores and stood blinking in light, looking at long tables filled with fork. I am floating, son of Ryan, son of the full king under the man. I returned, cried Fulton. That voice from the door, before the captain could say anything. All left to their feet. The master of the town sprang from his great chair. While none rose in greater surprise than the rough and the elves, who was in the lower end of the hall. As they followed before the master's table, they cried, "These are prisoners of the king that has escaped, wandering vagabond buzzes that could not give any good amount of themselves, making through the woods, molesting our people." "Is this true?" asked the master. As a matter of fact, he thought it more likely than to return the kingdom to the mountain. Many such a person that ever existed. This too will only relayed by the elf king and imprisoned Melchorus. As we journey back to our own land, as a Fulton, but Loch Mulball can hinder the homecoming of spoken of old. I speak, nor is this town in the south realm. I speak to the master of the town and the men in the lake, not to the deaf men the king. And the master hesitated and looked from one to the other. Abbott came with very powerful in those parts, and the master wished but no enemy with them. Not only did he think much of old songs, given it mind its range and trolls. Cargo was and gold. To which had it he owned his position. As for a different mind, however, quickly the matter was settled without him. The news had spread on the doors like fire throughout the town. The fuel was shining inside the hall and outside it. Praise were flown on 8 feet. Tom began to take snatches of old songs concerning the turn of the king and the man. That it was for his grandson, not for himself, that had come back. He had not followed them at all. Others took up the song and rolled loud and high over the lake. The king underneath the mountains, the king of given stone, the Lord, the silver fountains shall come into his own. His hand shall be upholden, the top shall be laced on, his halls shall echo golden, the sons of earth, listen. The woods shall wave on the mountains, and rest beneath the sun. Its wealth shall flow in mountains, and the rivers golden run. The stream shall run in gladness. The lake shall shine and burn. Oh, so pale in sadness, and the man king's return. So they saying, unless I'm very like that. Only there was a idea more of it. There was much shouting, as well as the music of harps and the fiddles mixed up with it. Indeed, so segment not been known in the town. In memory of the oldest grandfather, the woods elves themselves, and the wonder greatly, even to be afraid. They did not know that of course how Fortin had escaped. They began to think that Kate might have made a serious mistake. As for the master, he saw there was nothing else for it but to obey the Colonel Clamor. A moment anyway, we tend to believe important was what he said. So he gave up to him his own nature, said Phoebe and Kitty, tied him as his honor. Even Bibble was given a seat at the high table, and no explanation of where he came in. No sunset alluded to him, even the exquisite way was asked for in the general bustle. Soon afterwards, the outdoors were brought into the town amidst scenes of astonishing enthusiasm. They all adopted it, fed and housed and pampered, in the musty lane, that until the action. A large house was given up to Fortin and his company. Fulton Rose were put at their service, and crowds sat outside, singing songs all day. Cheered it. Adolf showed so much as his nose. Some of the songs were old ones, but some now quite new and spoke confidently of the sudden death of the dragon. And the car goes, and this presence coming down the Ridge Lake Town. These were inspired largely by the master, and did not particularly please the doses. When, meanwhile, they were well contended, and they quickly grew fat and strong again. Indeed, within a week, they were quickly recovered. They had done fine cloth of their proper colors, beards combed and trimmed, and proud steps. Warren looked and walked as it kingdom was already gained, and small chopped up into little pieces. Then, as he had said, Mendoza's good feeling towards the little hobbit grew stronger every day. There were no more groans or grumbles. They drank his health. They patted him on the back, and they made a great fuss of him. It was just as well. But he was not feeling particularly cheerful. He had not forgotten the look of the mountain or the thought of the dragon. Only yet beside the shocking cold. For 3 days he sneezed and coughed, and he could not go out. And even after that, his speeches and banquets were limited to flank, bunch. In the meanwhile, the woods elves had gone back up the forest river with their cargoes. And there was great excitement in the king's palace. I've never heard what happened to the chief, the guards, the butler. Nothing, of course, the service had about keys or barrels while the horses stayed in Lake Town. And Bibble was careful never to become invisible. Still, I dare say, more was guessed than what was known. Though definiteness, Mr. Baggins remained a bit of a mystery. In any case, the king knew now that those and thought he did, said to himself, "They live. We will see. No treasure will come back from Lookwood without my having to something to say in the matter. I expect they will come to a bad end instead of the night." He did at any rate did not believe in those thing like killing dragons like smoke. Suddenly suspected attempted burglary, something like it shows he was a wise elf, wiser than the men in the town. Although not quite right, as we shall see in the end. He sent out spies about the shores of the lake, as far northward towards the mountain they would go, and we did. At the end of the fortnight, Florian began to think of departure. While the enthusiasm still lasted in the town, was a time to get help.
Deal with it tomorrow. We're not freezing anything, I think, anytime soon.
And why not to let everything cool down with today? So he spoke to the master counselors and said, soon, Rena's company must go on towards the man. And for the first time, the master was surprised and a little frightened, and he wondered if what in after all, really had sent all kings. He had never thought that the noses were actually there to floats, smug, but believe they were frauds.
Well, I couldn't
Who would sooner or later be discovered, and we turned out. He was wrong. Fulton, of course, was really the grandson of the king under the man. And there is no knowing what the dwarf was not there and knew for the revenge on the recovery of his son. But the master was not sorry at all to let them go. They were expensive to keep, and the rival turned things into a long holiday in which business stands still. Let them go but a smoke and see how he welcomes them, he thought. And the little Fulton, grandson, full son, that's what he said. You must clean your own. Now and had spoken of old. What help we can offer which shall be yours, and we trust to your gratitude when your kingdom is regained. So one day, although autumn snow came full on, the winds were cold and leaves were falling fast. The large boats left Lake Town. Then the rowers told Mr. Baggins to make positions. Much as their ponies had been went around. The years passed. Meet them at the landing place. The master and his counselors and settlers made them very well on the gate steps of the town hall and went down to the lake. He built saying on quiet case, not windows, light oars, drip and splashed, and off they went, up the lake on the last stage of the long journey. The only person really unhappy was Pippo. So there's chapter 10, guys. Next week we're looking at chapter 11. Only 17 chapters left. Only 7 chapters left. Bye.